Howdy, everybody. Robert Klein Jr. here. Welcome to Heartstrings and Highways, where I will be your host. And over the next hour, we'll take you through a little tour of some of my favorite tunes and the people that made it. Got a really great show for you today. It kind of dips back in the past, which, as they say, history is the best teacher. Today is Cinco de Mayo. Hope everybody is celebrating. I've got a question. Does anybody out there know what it's all about? Today really was the date observed to commemorate the Mexican Army's victory over the French Empire. That was Napoleon III. Bonaparte III. That went down on May 5th, 1862. Which took place at the Battle of Puebla. It's a holiday that's celebrated really, all over America. Sell beer, the old Corona. Well, I guess more significantly that this battle played a pivotal role in actually the Civil War and the French's alliance with the Confederacy. Interestingly enough, there is a bust of a Spanish bride who is, I guess, I've got to recall the name and research this. I'll bring it back to a future show, but she's actually in Florence. The bust is, she is deceased. Her husband, and I think he was awarded a princeship or some royalty position or quasi political position. The people of Mexico City tore him to pieces. But somehow this bust is in Florence, Alabama, at the Kennedy Douglas Arts Center, which when we open up we'll be visiting again. We've actually hosted live music there. We had Scrappy Judd and Jeff Plankenhorn, who we'll talk about later in the show. We're going to start today's show, episode 4, with a song by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. A song that actually commemorates another historic battle that happened just yesterday, May 4th, which is also known as the May 4th Massacre or Kent State Massacre, which happened about 50 years ago. The Kent State shooting happened in 1970. The Ohio National Guard at Kent State University in Kent, Ohio, killed 4 students during a mass protest against the bombing of the neutral Cambodia by the U.S. forces. 28 National Guard soldiers fired approximately 67 rounds over a period of 13 seconds. Just a brief moment. They killed 4 students and wounded 9 others, one of whom suffered permanent paralysis. There's an image out there in the world by Pulitzer Prize winning photographer John Vilo of Mary Ann Ficino kneeling over the body of Jeffrey Miller just minutes after he was fatally shot by the Ohio National Guard. Now, I initially hesitated to bring this subject up. I've got one person I think in mind who I know is listening, who is on the other side of the world in another conflict, and I think it's important to honor and remember, respect that there's people all over the world in battles that we don't know about. Recently there's been talk and comparison of what we're currently going through with the coronavirus and comparing numbers of deaths for the flu versus lives lost during the Vietnam War conflict, which this event was trying to bring awareness to. In fact, it interestingly enough vilified the people that were caring for people they didn't even know or know about. I guess my point, folks, is that, we're out there looking after each other, and sometimes we do it in the wrong way. Let's listen to Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young.
Soldiers and Nixon's coming, we're finally on our own. This summer I hear the drumming, for dead in Ohio, 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 how many more? For dead in Ohio, why? For dead in
Welcome back, and welcome to Heartstrings and Highways. For those of you just finding us, Heartstrings and Highways is kind of a cooperative between artists, venues, and people like yourself who love music, which deep down, I think if you got a pulse, you got a rhythm in your heart, you're breathing, you're alive, you got some music in you. And that's really the mission. And this radio program is a way to reach out and introduce you to some of our friends. And in fact, I've got another fellow I want to introduce you to, who I got a call from earlier today. A road buddy, a legendary songwriter, a fellow by the name of Willis Allen Ramsey, and we were chatting about where he was in 1970. I was but a glint in my mama's eye, as they say. But Willis was, I guess, about to get out there touring that time. Kind of talked about his memories. Before I get into that, I wanted to bring you back around to the Shoals in Florence, Alabama, which really introduced me to the words Muscle Shoals and a song called Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner, which incidentally is a reflection of the song Ohio by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And the verse reflecting Neil Young's perspective, summing up, a Southern man don't need you around, which actually led to significant threats to Neil's life. The irony is that Neil has a tremendous connection with Muscle Shoals in Alabama. And it was maybe taken out of context. I don't know. Or they were just in different parts of town. Other side of the river. Anyway, this is Leonard Skinner's Sweet Home Alabama. You are listening to Heartstrings and Highways on Music Ranch Radio. I'm your host, Robert Klein Jr. I also want to give a shout out to Jimmy's Roadhouse, for giving Heartstrings and Highways a place in Red Lodge, Montana, where this show is syndicated. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time out of Red Lodge, Montana. To stream the show, just go to musicranchradio.com. Click live stream. While you're there, be sure to check out local artist spotlights. While you're there, be sure to check out the artist spotlights. There's several independent artists that Music Ranch Radio's features. We were very grateful for that. Earlier in the show, I mentioned Willis Allen Ramsey and I were chatting about where he was in the 70s. And in fact, he was cruising through Muscle Shoals with his mentor, Leon Russell. Here is Leon Russell's Out in the Woods off of the album Carney. That was Leon Russell with Out in the Woods. So returning to our story about Willis and Leon visiting Muscle Shoals, really kind of puts in perspective that we're all out in the woods. And it's great to have mentors that show us the ropes. Today, our conversation really drove around the fact that Willis had a lot of help in learning how to make records with Leon and getting experience in the studio. In addition to being a fantastic singer-songwriter, Willis has some serious studio chops and owns a great studio as well. But today we were chatting about his album and the recording process and really the fear that overcame him during the process of being good enough to produce something. And fortunately, he had some compassionate people around him that helped him through the process. One of the key people in that record being a gentleman by the name of J.J. Cale, who Leon brought in as a friend, as an introduction to help provide some production direction. But more importantly, he was given faith in himself. So Willis explained that J.J. Cale was brought in by Leon really as a friendly introduction, but also to be involved in and be in the room, which Willis attributed in making him relax and have faith in his own performance. If that don't please the toe, you just don't know. That was J.J. Cale. Up next is actually a Beatles song covered by Wilson Pickett and an exceptional performance by Duane Allman on guitar. Recorded in Muscle Shoals at Fame Studio. This is Hey Jude.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song found her. Now go on out and get her. But remember to let her in your heart. Then you can start to make it better. So let it out and let it in. Hey Jude, begin. You waited for someone to grow up with. And don't you know that it's just you? Hey Jude, you do the movements you need. It's on your shoulder. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song, make it better. Just remember to let out your skin. Then you begin to make it better. Ow! Ah, Judy. It's gonna be all right. Judy, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right, yeah. Yeah,
If anybody has seen the Muscle Shoals documentary, which I highly recommend, you might learn that Dwayne Allman found his way to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and was not warmly welcomed by Rick Hall. He was a long-haired hippie, and at that time, he was an outcast. Until he stuck it out, camped out in the parking lot of Fame's studio until they let him in. Talking about kicking down the doors and blowing them off. Dwayne Allman really made Southern rock and roll, at least a tremendous part of the guitar sounds and influences. And speaking of influences, he actually was suiting Willis, or at least connecting with Willis about partnering with him on his label prior to Willis joining Shelter Records, which resulted in this album and the song Spider John. This is Willis Allen Ramsey on Heartstrings and Highways.
Spider John is my name, friends. I'm in between freight signs, sure would be obliged. I could share your company. I'm on my way to nowhere. I've been running from my past, running from the things I used to be. Now I know my words sound strange to you, but if you wait till my song is sung and my story is told, you might come to understand why I'm holding, bending, devil spinning, running out of time. Not long ago I held a raw flush in my hand. Oh, I was a supermarket fool, I was motorbike stew pigeon. must die. And old Spider John, the robber man, long, tall, and handsome. Yes, I was a Spider John with a loaded hand, taking ransom. And then one day I met Diamond Lip, and she was the sweetest thing, I declare, as the summer wind had ever blown my way. Lil, she had no idea my illustrious occupation. She thought I was a saint, not a sinner gone astray. Yeah. Spider, he loved his lady so much, he could not confess his sins, for he knew if he did, he would surely take her leave. But you know that the word got around and Lily left town, and he never saw her again, tossing and turning, causing his heart to grieve. Oh, I was a supermarket fool, I was a motor bank student, robbing my own time. I thought I'd paid my dues, and I thought I'd found a life to suit my style. And there was Spider John, the robber man, long, tall, and handsome. Yes, there was Spider John with a loaded hand, taking ransom. That is all my story. It's been these 30 years since I took to the road, find my precious jewel. And if you see my Lily, won't you give her my regards? That old Spider got tangled in the black web that he spun. Tell her the spider got tangled in the black web that he spun.
That was Willis Allen Ramsey's Spider John. That was Willis Allen Ramsey off his debut album. In fact, it's the only album released. He's got another one under his belt. We'll get to that in another show. I've been very fortunate to be involved in at least the past couple years of touring and seeing that into fruition a little. Even getting to spend some time with Willis. Obviously, we're touring together and performing, but he had an opportunity to perform and record live with Bruce Robeson on his show, The Last Waltz, and album, which is topping the Americana charts right now. Check out YouTube for those. And let's listen to another song written by Willis Allen Ramsey and his actually now ex-wife, Allison. Performed by the one and only Lyle Lovett.
I always like to try to end our tours at home in Texas, because it's just something about, it really gives you something to look forward to, getting to come home. People mean well, but people in other parts of the country, they just... They think they know what it's like down here. And some of them do, but... Well, you can tell by the way sometimes when people from other places, when they come down to visit, by the way they dress. They buy all the right clothes, but there's just something about them.
You say you're not from Texas, man, as if I couldn't tell. Well, you think you pull your boots on right and wear your hat so well. So pardon me my laughter, as I sure do understand. Even Moses got excited when he saw the promised land. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. So I was born and raised in Texas, and it means so much to me. And though my girl comes from down in Georgia, we were up in Tennessee. And as we were driving down the highway, she asked me, baby, what's so great? How come you're always going on about your Lone Star State? I said, that's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. On the road, it looks so lovely. She stood there on the side, and she grew smaller in my mirror as I watched her wave goodbye. Those boys from Carolina, well, they sure enough could sing. But when they came on down to Texas, we all showed them how to swing. Now David's on the radio, and old Champ's still on the guitar. Uncle Waldy's at home with Heidi in her loving arms. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. Okay, in Oklahoma, up in Arkansas, they're fair. But those old folks in Missouri, they don't even know you're there. But at a dance hall down in Texas, that's the finest place to be. All the women, they all look beautiful, and their men will buy your beer for free. And they'll say, that's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. So won't you let me help you, mister? Just pull your hat down the way I do, and buy your pants just a little longer. And next time somebody laughs at you, you just tell them you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas.
Oh, no, but Texas wants you anyway. That's right, you're not from Texas. Oh, no, oh, Texas wants you anyway.
That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. That's right, you're not from Texas. Texas wants you anyway. Texas wants you anyway. I drink my whiskey all alone. Temptation got me on the run. Mama's son don't hurt no one. Don't want no trouble. Don't want no trouble. But trouble find me. Trouble find me with nothing going right. Yeah, no hope is left inside. I should be praying to the Lord. Don't wanna bother him tonight. Don't want no trouble. Don't want no trouble. But you know trouble find me. Trouble find me. Well, I wish I could move on. Redemption too far gone. Now I'm left with an empty bottle and an aching head. You don't ever wanna be where I've been or will be. 'Cause when I'm down, and I'm always down, trouble find me. I can't take it no more. This knocking on my door, when nothing's on the other side. But still I'm always open wide. And I don't want no trouble. Don't want no trouble. Yeah, trouble find me. Trouble find me. So come on, trouble find me. Trouble find me. Yeah, trouble find me.
That was Lyle Lovett with That's Right, You're Not From Texas. And the patron saint of Austin, and I guess Wimberley too, a gentleman by the name of Jeff Plankenhorn, who isn't from Texas, but Texas loves him anyway. And so does Jimmy at Jimmy's Roadhouse. Jeff often plays there as he is a touring artist, in addition to having a pretty substantial band, The Resentment, in Austin, Texas. A really super group of songwriters, performers, and music professionals. I've been fortunate to play some gigs with Jeff. Incidentally, he has played a good bit with Willis and has been a big part of the Austin community for some time now. The legacy of a community and culture like Austin has been a significant part of my influence, and artists like Willis and Jeff now. But guys like Jerry Jeff Walker, and that sound is certainly a Texas sound. But one of the greatest things about being a Texan, which I am, is that if you want to be from Texas, you can be from Texas. And there's an acceptance of that in the culture that I think is very unique and welcoming. Jeff's first gig in Texas was with a gentleman by the name of Jerry Jeff. His first gig in Texas was with Ray Wiley Hubbard at the house that Jerry built, backing him up. As a side player, Jeff played with the best in Texas and is a big part of that community. The next artist I've got for you is a gentleman by the name of Jerry Jeff Walker, which instantly takes us back to the Armadillo World Headquarter days and the vibe and the community. And he dropped some names of some people we know and love from Muscle Shoals. A gentleman by the name of Donnie Fritz, who we'll share later with in the show. But Willis actually told me a funny story about Jerry Jeff. On the first night he met him, they were, I think, in Red River. Jerry played a show. They were sitting around playing afterwards, or there was some shenanigans involved. But Jerry was butt naked, sitting on the floor. And at any rate, there was a lot of indulging going on and a bit of the personality about Jerry Jeff. According to Willis, Jerry Jeff's the only guy that everybody in the band beat up.
I'd like to dedicate this song to Chris Christopherson and Johnny Cash and
But
Billy
what a legend.
Swan and Funky Donnie Fritz and pissing in the wind, betting on the losing friends, making the same mistakes we swear we'll never make again. Pissing in the wind, but it's blowing on all our friends. We're gonna sit and grin and tell our grandchildren. About the time I called this guy, it was 4 in the morning to teach me the words to the song I was humming. He just laughed and he said that the old gray cat is sneaking down the hall. But all he wants to know is who in the hell is paying for this call. Oh, pissing in the wind, betting on a losing friend, making the same mistakes we swear we'll never make again. And we're pissing in the wind, but it's blowing on all our friends. We're gonna sit and grin and tell our grandchildren. How this nun called me up, it was 8 in the morning. Wanted to know how in the world am I doing. Oh, He just laughed and he said, get it together, boy, and fall on by the house. Some gonzo buddies would like to play anything you're picking out. Oh, pissing in the wind, check to come sneaking down the hall, like that old time feeling that we never should have ever put the record out at all. Yeah, just pissing in the wind, betting on a losing friend, making the same mistakes we swear we'll never make again. We're pissing in the wind, and it's blowing on all our friends. We're gonna sit and grin and tell our grandchildren that the answer, my friend, is just pissing in the wind. Oh, the answer is pissing in the sink.
Which verse does that turnaround thing come after?
Eighth.
Second.
Second verse?
First verse. Say be south of Oklahoma, east of New Mexico, west of Louisiana, Bobby Charles always go. We got a little place we call Texas, where the women just grow on trees. Right there for the pecking good, buddy, just as easy as a man could please. Run, take a hold. You gon' get young before you get old. Those Texas ladies are Texas gold. Kisses sweeter than cactus, taking no practice to love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now they're east of Amarillo, a little south of Bodine Box. You can find a Cinderella, yeah, or a genuine Goldilocks. If you don't like no love attachments, if your taste in women gets strange, you could probably find something still living down in old Grange. You run, tell the world you gotta have a Lone Star girl with a cast iron curl, her aluminum dimples, 'cause she's all simple to love. Oh, yeah. She's probably in Dallas, maybe down in Old Cow Town. I've heard tell Texas women beat the others lying down. I just thought I might tell you, in case you were unaware, about those Northeast Texas women with the cotton candy hair. You run, take a hold. You gon' get young before you get old. Yeah. Texas women are Texas gold. Oh, they're sweeter than cactus. Whoa, easy to love, yeah. sweeter than cactus, and easy to love.
That was Jerry Jeff Walker covering Willis Allen Ramsey's Northeast Texas Women on his Too Old to Change album. Before that was Jerry Jeff's Pissin' in the Wind, who he tipped the hat to some legends, Chris Christopherson, Donnie Fritz, Billy Swan, all cats who spent a lot of time in the shoals, which we will revisit next week, Tuesday, 10 p.m. Mountain Time. Be sure to visit musicranchradio.com to get the link to stream the show. If you're not currently listening to it live on air, you can probably find it in other forms. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. And thank you for being a part of Heartstrings and Highways.
Your run, and it's been a good one. Seems like the world is passing you by. Oh, Father Time, he just keeps on ticking. Still got a lot of life and a song to sing. You fell in love back in the day. Can't forget her face, can't remember her name. She was a beauty, a shining star. Just when you weren't looking, she broke your heart. You've been down every highway, burned your share of bridges. You found forgiveness. You think that you're still a young bull rider till you look in the mirror and see that old timer. One by one, your friends have crossed over. You pray for mercy and a few more days. Still got dreams inside your head, but some days it's a struggle just to get out of bed. You've been down every highway, burn your share of bridges. You found forgiveness. You think you're still a young bull rider till you look in the mirror and see an old timer. Old timer. your run.